In 2003, as a result of a car accident, my older brother, Mark, was sentenced to do 15 years to do 7 in the state prison. I didn't know what to do, but the first thought I had was I need to get my brother in touch with a prison chaplain because my brother was a believer.
This has been a bitter pill and hard medicine because mostly I think because of the people that we love, we hurt them when we come in here. And they're totally innocent bystanders, and we drag them down with a lot of pain.
I think the hardest part about being in prison is being away from family members and loved ones, not having that interaction like I was on the street.
I got a letter from my brother one day from prison, and it said, reach out to these men, and in turn they will reach out to others. And that was my call. I knew right then I had to do something to get inside the prisons and to minister to the men and women in prison. We bring in Christian speakers, dramatists, musicians to share the gospel. We supply indigent hygiene for inmates that can't afford hygiene. A lot of times the best way to get to the spiritual need is to meet the physical need first. So we'll supply hygiene. An inmate can go to his chaplain or her chaplain and ask for hygiene. And that puts him in front of a chaplain, and the chaplain has the opportunity to share Christ. One of my favorite stories is a Muslim came to accept Christ because somebody gave him hygiene, because he went back to thank the Christian chaplain. The chaplain said, why don't you come to church? And 4 weeks later, he accepted Christ. All because of some soap.
I am Tony Hartsfield. I have 4 life sentences plus 220 years. On top of that, I have 25-year federal time, and I'm thankful for each day. 12 years ago, when I was in Douglas County, in the county jail, I didn't have no sense of direction. I was facing the life sentence, the rest of my life in prison. So sometimes it takes for us to hit rock bottom. God didn't lock me down. I locked myself down by making a bad choice, and I stayed in the whole 18 months. And in the mix of that 18 months, that's when I became saved. God had to get a hold of me, and he had to put me in a situation where I didn't have no opportunity but to look up. And that's when I looked at him.
We do Christmas packages in several prisons where we go in and we bring goodie bags essentially with snack items and hygiene items. And I got a thank you note from a guy we call Bullet Head. I don't know why they call him Bullet Head. But anyway, Bullet wrote a note and he said, I thank God your brother went to prison. Because of that, I'm saved. He had come to know Christ at one of our programs, our very first concert we'd ever done. And I just think his life has changed for eternity. And if we close the doors and do nothing else, we made a difference in that one life. Faith has been an ignored component in the Department of Corrections for many years. But I believe that God said, Andrea Shelton, you are here for such a time as this. And so he just, he put me on the planet to do this. I mean, I know he did.
Words cannot express the gratitude and the joy I feel for the church support. The feel that you get now being able to stand here and conduct an interview with men at attention, guys that has committed some heinous crimes, and we can feel comfortable and relaxed. And that's a direct effect of the volunteers, the change that have come over this place, and the new attitude, the new belief that they have, and the new inspiration that we have. And it's directly because of the volunteers that we have from the church.
Anything that we do in a prison, we do it with excellence. And that's one of the things I've learned here. I mean, the teaching here is excellent. And so whenever we do something, I want to make sure that the theology is so correct and that we're really teaching the Word of God. And so I've learned that here. There's a lot of models of ministry that I've learned through Apostles. The people at Apostles have been amazing. I mean, they've held me up in prayer. They've held my brother up in prayer. You know, I can call folks like James Saxon and say we need some materials, or I can call Leading the Way and say we need some outreach materials. And you know, they're quick to supply them. They've been exactly what the church's mission statement is about reaching the lost and equipping the saints. This church has equipped me to reach the lost. Look for the opportunities around you. And sometimes they come in packages you never expected and you didn't really want. But whenever you come up against one of those situations, ask yourself, what is God doing? And God, how do you want to use me? And just be ready, because He will use you. Don't be surprised. Be ready. He will use you. Ask God, what are my marching orders? What do you want me to do? And I guarantee you, He'll let you know.